I never should have gone in alone. Freetown-Fall River State Forest had a reputation. Paranormal investigators called it the heart of the Bridgewater Triangle, a place of eerie lights, disembodied voices, and strange figures lurking between the trees. It was a breeding ground for disappearances. People went in and never came out. I thought it was just stories, until I became one. It started as a drunken bet. My friends, laughing over a bonfire, dared me to spend one night alone in the forest. No phone, no weapons, just a flashlight and a camera. You'll see how much of a joke those ghost stories are, they said. At first, it was peaceful. The woods were still, the moonlight filtering through the skeletal trees. I set up camp near an old abandoned shelter deep in the woods, rumored to have been used for cult rituals. My camera recorded the quiet stillness. It felt normal. Until midnight. The first sign that something was wrong came in the form of whispers, low, breathy voices just at the edge of my hearing. They drifted between the trees, speaking a language I didn't understand. I turned my flashlight toward the sound, but there was nothing there, just darkness pressing in. Then my flashlight flickered. The batteries were new, but the beams stuttered like something was interfering with it. My camera, still recording, showed static lines creeping across the screen. And then the laughter started, soft at first, like a child hiding in the bushes. Then louder, distorted, stretching into something inhuman. I wasn't alone. I grabbed my flashlight and ran. I didn't know where, I just ran. But the further I went, the more twisted the trees became. The forest shifted. The path I had followed earlier was gone. Every direction looked the same. Then I saw it. A figure standing just beyond the reach of my light. It was tall, impossibly thin, its limbs too long. Its face was wrong, like a mask of human skin stretched over something that had never been human. It didn't move, it just watched. I turned and sprinted. My legs burned, my breath came in ragged gasps, but the forest wouldn't let me leave. Every path looped back to that old shelter. I circled 3 times, always ending up at the same place. The laughter turned into screams. With no other option, I ran inside the shelter. It was rotting, the walls covered in strange symbols. In the center of the floor, a trapdoor. My fingers trembled as I pried it open. A wooden ladder led down into darkness, but as I climbed inside, the air grew thick, like the forest was breathing. The door slammed shut above me, and then the real horror began. The walls were covered in names, hundreds of them, scratched into the wood, some fresh, some decades old, and beneath them a phrase carved over and over again. It watches, it waits, it takes. A shuffling sound came from the far corner. My flashlight flickered. Something was down there with me. I don't remember climbing out. I don't remember running. The next thing I knew, I was at my car, gasping for breath. The forest was silent. My camera was still clutched in my hands, the battery long dead. I should have been safe, but when I got home, I reviewed the footage. Most of it was static, but in one frame, just before the camera died, there was a face in the darkness behind me, not human. And in the last shot, just before the screen went black, I saw my own name freshly scratched into the shelter wall. I survived the night, but I don't think I left alone.